I grew up in a town called Hickory, North Carolina. It's about 30 minutes northwest of Charlotte. I played high school ball at Bunker Hill High School, about 800 kids. Kind of in the sticks a little bit, but that's where the love for the game grew up. I live with my mom, single mother. Got two siblings, two little sisters. So, once I got old enough to work, I had to work. So, but it built some work ethic in me, and my mom worked hard. So I saw what it took to get the job done. So it kind of helped me as far as me being an adult now. So. I played ball at Wingate University, which is 45 minutes south of Charlotte, Division II school, and I played middle linebacker for Rashawn Jordan. The head coach there was Joe Wright. I ended up being a walk-on at a high school. Grades weren't great, but I got a chance to walk on there, and then I turned that into a scholarship with play. I ended up being a two-time all-conference guy, but I had a great college experience. It wasn't a big school, it was probably 1,800 kids or something like that, but I had a great experience. I had to play with a couple guys that are in the professional leagues now, Canadian Football League and the NFL. So I was pretty fortunate to meet the people that I did and play where I played. Yeah, I ask myself that sometimes, especially when the wintertime comes around and it's -30 outside. But one of my teammates from Wingate, Kevin Canty, got the job up here before I did. And at the time, I was working at a storage facility for storage units, and I was assistant manager there, and I didn't really love it. I worked at a bank too, so I was a suit and tie type of deal for a couple years, and I didn't like it. And Coach Canty told me, if you want to coach football, I know you still want to get into the game somehow. So if you want to coach football, you might have an opportunity up here. I mean, I'm up in Minnesota, so you got to know what you're getting yourself into. But Coach Carlson gave me a shot. He said, you can come up here. It ain't going to be much money. You got to find a job. You got to find a house. So I jumped on the opportunity, and I've been up here ever since. So I'm appreciative to Coach Carlson and Coach Canty for the opportunity. Starting off, Coach Carlson didn't know much about me. He knew I was a defensive guy. He knew my stats from college. So, they had an opening position on defense. So I came here actually as a defensive backs coach my first year. And I did that, and I guess he thought I did a good job. Him and Coach Parkovich, I guess they thought I did a good job, so they promoted me to linebacker. I call it a promotion. They promoted me to linebackers coach, and I grew as a coach there because obviously I was comfortable there, and that's where I played my whole life. So I felt like I grew there immensely as far as getting into the nuts and bolts of what Coach Parkovich had to do with game planning and that type of thing, film study. And then this opportunity came up as Coach Parkovich was moving forward with his career. Coach Carlson thought that I would do a good job. I agreed with him. So at that point, I accepted the position, but I had to grow up a lot from where I started from as an extremely raw coach. I knew the game, but I didn't know I was never a teacher of the game. So, I was pretty fortunate to have this opportunity. And I did, throughout my 4 years, try to figure out how I could move forward to become a full-time coach, because that's what I wanted to do. At the time, the previous 4 years, I've been a part-time guy, but also I worked at a treatment facility part-time. So, my time was split, and I wanted to graduate to be a full-time coach, and that's what I wanted to do. So I can't say that I didn't look for other opportunities, but I wasn't looking forward to moving away from St. Scholastica because I know it's a special place, and we got growth here. And when I got the opportunity, it was just, it's a good thing for me. So I decided to hang out. The previous 4 years under Coach Parkovich, we're more of a 4-3 team, cover two shell type of team. This year, we'll run a 4-2-5, which is a little different. We get more speed on the field, but I'm gonna teach the same principles as far as being aggressive with the football in the air, being good tacklers, that type of thing. So, you can expect us to be flying around the field, and the same kind of ferocity that we've always had here. But my job, my thought process is, okay, now we got to figure out how to take the next step. Okay, we want to be a top 15 defense in the country, so we got to figure out how to take that next step. And me being a rookie defensive coordinator, isn't that that's not in my mind at this point. I'm thinking of it like, this is my defense now, and I need to put my fingerprints on it. And my fingerprints would be for us to be the best prepared team in our league, and that comes from film study, that comes from practice tempo, that comes from down in distance, whatever it may be to make us that much better than we were last year. That's always the goal, is to get better. Spring ball went well, and I'm glad I got to come in during spring ball to, cut my teeth a little bit, so I know the limitations of what I can do with this personnel that we have that come back this year. It was great because I got to whittle down things out of my playbook. I had a lot of stuff, just over the years that I'm like, oh, that's cool, that's neat, you know what I'm saying? I've picked up from people at conventions and that type of thing. And then spring ball came, and I got an opportunity to put those things in, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. So I got rid of some of it. The guys got to hear me being the voice now, that got used to, okay, now Coach Smith is the guy, which is, different from for some of the seniors, especially, that's been, Coach Parkovich has been the guy to go to. So now I'm the honcho, and I appreciate being the guy that everybody's gonna come to for questions, to resolve issues. And spring ball really helped me with my confidence, because I thought the guys performed pretty well with my scheme. And this fall, I reduced that down even more. So now we're gonna have not as big of a playbook, but we're gonna be able to learn it, get it down, and be great at what we do. And that's my goal. I want to set the tone for the season. For my tenure at St. Scholastica, this camp is very important to me, because now, we got a whole new class of freshmen coming in that don't know Coach Parkovich and what Coach Parkovich did here. So I get a chance to put my fingerprint on this class, and it's very important to me that I set the tone early and let them know what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and how to go about business as a St. Scholastica Saint. So it's very important to me that we come out, from the first meeting saying, okay, this is what I want done, this is how I want to get it done. So I'm pretty excited about it. Ideally, ideally, the whole defense will be a strength. I really can't single out a level. I know we got three seniors coming back on our defensive line. So that right there would be something that we could fall back on as far as leadership. Those guys know this is their last go around at St. Scholastica, so they're gonna kind of get the troops going in the right direction when I'm not around, as far as in the locker room or in the dorm rooms and that type of thing. Kind of keep guys on the straight and narrow. So you know, if I had to say a group, I would say probably the defensive line right now. But we got guys that played throughout all levels. Not going to single any guys out in particular, but we got leaders throughout the whole defense, and I expect those guys to do their jobs. I really don't think that's any pressure. I expect us to lead the team no matter we got 11 seniors on offense. It doesn't really matter to us. If our mentality is going to be if they can't score, they can't win, and period. You know what I'm saying? So if the other team has 0 points, what we got to worry about? So I appreciate Coach putting that pressure on us. But we already have pressure on us from within, and we're going to make sure that we handle our business so the offense doesn't have to worry about it. It's got to be a 25 or something. I mean, that is where we start our journey. It's always the goal to be a conference champion. We made the playoffs last year. Play St. Thomas. They're a pretty good team. So we want to take that next step to cross that barrier. And that's the first opponent. That's what we're focusing on right now. It's all about the journey. And that's the start of the journey. So very excited for our seniors to get a chance to start with a quality opponent and a new opponent. So we're very excited about getting that opportunity. And they're like I said, they're a pretty good team. So we'll get that measuring stick early, and we got to see what we're gonna work with after that.